Hello troops, welcome to day 2 of kitchen renovations. It's the dreaded day where we take these bad boy cupboards off. So I'm going to set you up down here, get a time lapse going, and just show you how I get on. I've watched 3 TikTok videos on how to do this, so I'm feeling like an expert and ready to go. But I'll see you once these ones are down.
Hello everyone, it's Ewan here, giving you a voiceover on what I'm getting up to. So context here, I've had the flat for about 2.5 years now, and the kitchen has always been the one that's the most dated. So I knew as soon as I walked in the front door that I need to do something about the kitchen eventually. I think you can tell the wooden brown ceiling makes it look really dark. There's no windows in it, it's a bit of a galley kitchen. A bit of an unusual shape as well. So today was the day that I decided, you know what, we're going to have to rip this up and start again. So you can see me here, I've taken the doors off and I'm just about to unscrew the bottom. In the bottom of IKEA cabinets, there's like a lock that holds the walls on. So I'm just trying to get that lock off at the moment so I can take down and destroy these cupboards once and for all. What you can't see here is that behind the tiles next to the sink, they had screwed something in and then put tiles over it, so I couldn't just lift these cupboards off. I had to properly dismantle them while they were still stuck to the wall. But I do eventually get around to unscrewing it. So what's the timeline? So the timeline for this is currently the very start of August, and I'm due to get a plaster coming this week to fix the holes in the wall, which you will be able to see in some of the clips coming soon in this video. Oh, that was a satisfying bit. I got the roof off the cupboard. The cupboard roof, is that what you call it? I then took the back of the cupboard off, which is just a bit of like plywood. It's a sheet of plywood, so nothing really tricky about that at all. So this cupboard was kind of built into the wall. You can see where the tiles come out on the right hand side there. The same was done to here, which made it hard to get this bit of wood off, but by pulling the bottom bit off, I loosened it. It was just attached at the top, managed to get it off there. And then lift the bottom of the cupboards off. So you can see there's a wooden bar here, which I had an absolute trouble trying to get out. It was caught between tiles, so I had to go and get a saw. And you can see me here absolutely sawing like a madman here to get through this bit of wood. It was really bouncy, so even putting a bit of pressure on it, it could have snapped. So I thought, well, better safe than sorry. Cut it in half. Karate chop that was in my kitchen is now here. And pre-plastering, we've got so much more space now the cupboards are away. Ho 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 ho, it's a bit gross, but they're away. So I need to sort that area before Mako comes. But yeah, got this side to do at some point as well. So you can hear how buzzing I was in that clip there. But now it's time to take the other side of the kitchen down. So this unit that I just pulled there, I put that in myself when I first moved in. There used to be a really old extractor fan that was covered in grease, so I had to remove that myself. I put in the wee white cabinet, so I knew I could easily get that off because I put it in myself. The other ones were a bit trickier. You had 2 bars, you had like 2 wee bits of wood under the cupboards, as well as this bar that was similar to what was on the other side on the top here. So I started by trying to loosen that and got the top one off with pretty much ease. I managed to ply the other one off from under that cupboard and then trying this one here. So again, a couple of screws that attach it to the cupboard, and it's attached to the wall just under the tiles as well. So you'll see I'll get the last screw off, pull it down with a hammer and get it off pretty easily. I pretended to use it as a phone there, but you didn't see it. Cupboard doors, these are actually surprisingly heavy. So this one does tend to fall off, or one of them did fall off when I was taking them off in the last clip. Those shelves came out the cupboard really easily, and now it's time to pull it up. There's a wee hook that hooks it onto the wall here, which you can lift off just there. So you can start to see there's a lovely wire there from when I got the flat rewired. That was maybe a year ago now, which is crazy to think, but yeah, I've done a lot of work to this place to get it to just an okay level of livable. For context, when I first moved in, I'd been a smoker that lived there for 30 years, so everything was absolutely covered in smoke. I had to peel all the wallpaper off myself. You can see it in the sort of borders of this clip. Oh, cupboard's off the wall. That there was a lot of wallpaper there. So I then started to remove the tiles that were on the top of this section of first cupboards that you saw getting removed, just because it didn't go all the way across. It looked kind of naff, so I just thought, let's take them all off, so that there's not like one gap missing. The full wall can just be retiled at some point. So I was in two minds about whether to take the full tiles off the wall, but I want to keep some of the character of the kitchen when I do it up. I think it will look good, or will look better no matter what you do to it, really. As soon as that brown roof's painted white, you're going to get a lot more light in there as well. So you can see me taking the tiles off. I quite enjoyed taking the tiles off. It was quite it was a good challenge. Some of the jobs that I've had to do on the flat so far have not been fun, so taking the tiles off was actually one of the ones I enjoyed the most. So you can see me grabbing them, changing sides, changing angle for you there as well, and slowly getting these tiles off of the wall. So once I get, my plan was maybe to take a full section of the side off. You can see where the beams were that were under the cupboards, kind of make a dent in the gap next to my left shoulder there. But when I finished taking this tile off the wall, you can see I eventually start rubbing stuff out, drawing wee crosses on the wall to tell me which tiles to take off and which tiles to leave on. But I ended up leaving on more than I thought I would. So yeah, tiles fun, wallpaper not so fun. So I'm just making the final touches on this bit of wall, and you can see me hitting with a hammer. And you use this thing called a tile rake, which you can get for B&Q. I don't think it was that expensive, and that kind of cuts the grouting in between the tiles. So this is me raking. You can see the wee doodles that I've done on the tiles. I'm going to try and keep them as long as possible, and then we move on to the worst job, in my opinion. So here you can see me using an industrial steamer to get the glue of the wallpaper off the wall, and then using a scraper to scrape down really old wallpaper that had been behind these cupboards for who knows how many years, probably 40 years maybe. So you can see, got the mask on, don't want to be breathing in. The fumes of the glue absolutely stink as well, so yeah, mask is on. But this took a long time to get this to get the wallpaper off the wall here. That blue, it's almost like wood chip wallpaper. So if you've ever heard of wood chip wallpaper, it's like a layer of wallpaper with wee tiny bits of wood that you would see at like a play park for the floor, for a soft landing. That's in the actual wallpaper, so it gives that texture and it makes it impossible to get off the wall. So I was very glad to get all the blue off the wall here. You can see me just scraping the last bit there just now. So then go around the edges, tidy it all up, and you can see the steam around the light as well. So that industrial steamer puts out a lot of steam. The next part was to take this wee box bit of the kitchen and remove every scrap of wallpaper that I'd already previously taken off. So when you are plastering, if you plaster over wee scraps of wallpaper and then you later pull the wallpaper off, you'll lose some of that smooth finish in the plaster. So I've learned from past experiences it's important to get as much of the wee scraps of paper off as you can. So you can see me doing some pretty rogue ladder techniques there, to be honest. I should have got up and turned it round. So do not follow my advice here, I'm not trained. This is all DIY. And you can see me scraping round the wood on the wall. So the wood is actually going to get covered up with actual plaster. I'm not sure how the plaster is going to do it. He's very knowledgeable, very good. So I'm going to leave that to him as well. So you can see me taking off the last bit of wallpaper here, which there is a tube there that does lead to the outside back sort of close, which used to be used for an extractor fan, but I disconnected that because it was connected to the lights. So every time you put the light on, the extractor fan noise there came. So you can see me taking the last bit of like glowy wallpaper off here, and that's because when I took one of the tiles off, I pulled the plaster with it, so you can see a hole in the wall there as well. So I want the plaster to be able to fix that bit, fix that hole in the wall without there being wallpaper next to it to interrupt the plaster. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. There'll be an update video coming soon when I move on to the next stage of the renovation.